Welcome to another video here from the Tokyo Real Estate Man, coming to you from today from Ikejiri. I'm going to take you for a little walk here for a few minutes as we walk down the street, and I want you to, by taking this walk, we want to learn about the real estate of Tokyo, but we can also extrapolate beyond Tokyo to the real estate of Japan. And we have to, one of the themes of this channel is we have to connect the real estate of Japan to the cars, and because it is the cars, as you can see, this is a central Tokyo neighborhood right here. Look right here, we have a car, this is probably an owner who lives on the first floor here, and he rents the units upstairs. And what does he have for himself there? He has a hybrid, I don't know the kind, maybe it's I didn't see the make of it there, but you can see he has a parking spot. Now here are fairly contemporary designs. These houses here were built in likely the late 1990s. And what are they doing? You see the space? There's two spaces for cars right there. Behind me here is a whole parking business, and we can speculate that the owner of this parking business as well owns that sort of rental mansion or rental apartment. And here, underneath here, look at this. There's a little parking lot here, perhaps an extension of the parking business underneath the building. So when it comes to the best valued real estate in Japan's urban centers, which are the ones that are growing, this is that new Toyota. I saw it yesterday, but it's called the Esquire. Anyway, here is a really good example of perhaps a $3 million house right here. Okay, number one, metaverse. Maybe he's a Bitcoin investor right here. But you see, what does he have right there? I'm assuming it's a man. It's a very nice house, and it has a garage here. Okay, again here in this one here, this is a house likely built in the 1980s, and there's a garage there. Okay, this in one of the newer designs probably would not have been built this low. They built them a little higher now, and this is an older example of having what's known as high roof, a space for your high roof. And there, of course, is a Nissan Clipper right there. K-Truck is always in it with a yellow plate. But what you have to extrapolate from this is that when you're buying real estate in Japan, if you want liquidity or options, basically liquidity is options, okay? You need to connect it to the car, because the systems in Japan right now are car. And don't forget, you can buy a very nice used car in Japan for fairly cheap. Okay, and new cars, you can get a beautiful new K car, for example. This is a newer build within the last 10 years, but oddly enough, they're not using this car space. This space when this house was built was used for a car. Who knows? There's 3 mailboxes on here, so it's interesting. I don't know. This is interesting. Chotto ayashi janai? Now here, house next door, you have a parking spot. So that's really the key. So much you can learn here. You can peer down a little alley there, and then over at this next alley, you can look here and learn as well. Wait, I'm going to explain a lot to you. You see a building here from probably the late 1970s. Already parking. You see a Volvo there. These could be just rented out to people in the neighborhood as well. And these people who own the houses called Kobayashi House likely live upstairs. These sort of houses that are just to my right here, I'll peer at it here. Okay, you see that there's no parking spot that was built. And I think in some ways this house in the 1980s, for some reason, didn't use the parking design for the oddest reasons. Now, when you come into here, we always talk about, I have to whisper because we're coming into a smaller alley. When we see the great deals and the cheap prices in Japan, we often use the word things are captured. These are the example of captured homes. Okay, now these you can possibly rebuild, because you can still bring a truck down here and a construction crew could tear down this house and rebuild a new one. And they could here, but you see how these captured ones, they're very tricky to park in. But however, look here at the very end, you have a new build, not a new build, this would be about 15 years old now, maybe even 20 years old, but you have a parking spot right there. That's a really challenging place to park. And you have motorcycles here in front of this house. See how these people here have motorcycles? They cannot park here. So what are they doing to adjust? They're using motorcycles. Why are they using motorcycles? Because they want access to the transportation systems, which are in every way. You have to connect the transportation systems to the real estate in Japan. And that's why the houses like this one, that have, even in beautiful locations like this, are sort of less or valued less. However, when this house here, and they will be redeveloped because this neighborhood is so popular, when that one is redeveloped, and that one too, they will likely have a parking spot on the bottom floor, or the half basement. You say hanchiku in Japanese, which means sort of like the half ground, half sort of first floor. And what do we have in front of us here? We have an empty lot, and this is a tremendous property. I don't know if I can establish it here, but this is just a phenomenal neighborhood just outside Shibuya. This is an empty lot that sits on a corner, so you basically can do anything you want with it. Anyway, this is I was walking here with my wife, and what's turning around the corner here? You see a Peugeot. There's a Peugeot turning around, and I don't know if you know where it's from. He's got where it's registered is not Tokyo. I can't read that kanji. It says Seikai. Anyhow, that was a very nice car, by the way. You rarely see a Peugeot in Tokyo. But there's so much to talk about when you take a little walk around. But I'm hoping that we could have explained some interesting things here in this video today. Anyways, another video here from the Tokyo Real Estate Man. Today, coming to you from the streets of Tokyo. この動画でもう終わりです。